Hello guys, this is John Skirt, and we are back with some more C# tutorials. Okay, so I'm gonna hit File and New Project. Then you're gonna go to Console Application and name this Numbers or something like that. So you're gonna end up on the screen. So click around here and then press enter. And then you're gonna go ahead and type int x. Right? Don't forget semicolon. And int y, semicolon. Now, hold on and let me show you one thing. Now, if you were to just type in, let's say, x equals 3, and then y equals x plus, let's say, 7, and then my bad, I forgot to put this here, and then console dot right line y, and then console dot read line. Now, the only reason this wouldn't work is because the console doesn't know that we're setting an integer value to this variable. The console needs to realize that x is not equal, the variable x is not equal to a string value. So then you would have to make it int x and int, my bad. Oh, I keep forgetting to put a semicolon. Int x, int y. So let's go ahead and test this out. The console will show up with a 10, as we expected, since 7 plus 3 is 10. Now, let's make it a bit more complicated. You could do something like x times 4 plus 30, let's say 50 times x. If you start that, comes up with 162. And if you're wondering if it does do PEMDAS or whatever you learned, gems, like x times 4 and then 50 times x and then add those together, yes, the console knows to do that. So the next thing we're going to do is add strings to this. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and highlight these and press this right here, the comment out selected lines. Now, after you do that, I want to tell you that you can do int x equals 3 instead of int x equals 3 to save the space, since you're really going to end up wanting to do that. Okay, so skip maybe 3 lines, go to the middle, and let's say your ID is equal to 31415, and let's say your first name is John. Okay, so let's do int ID is equal to 31415, and then string my first name is equal to John. Go down here, and so the next thing is actually go ahead and add a space right here, since we don't want it to be bundled together with the ID. So add another line and write string my ID and name equals my first name plus ID. And then you write console.writeLine my ID and name, and then console.readLine, and go ahead and run that. It will come up with John 31415, or whatever name, whatever ID. So, next we're going to explain what exactly every one of these lines mean, and yeah, we'll go ahead and... Alright, so let's start with this line right here. Integer, or int ID equals 31415. This makes sure that the variable called ID is an integer. This makes sure the console knows that the variable ID will be set to an integer. If I was to type in int ID John, what would happen? It would not work. See, look, there were build errors. So you're going to go back. See, it says cannot implicitly convert type string to int. Alright, so yeah, it makes sure that it is set to an integer. It makes sure that the console knows that the variable ID will be an integer. Otherwise, it thinks, oh no, I can't make the string John a number. Pretty much because it's all letters. Alright, so the second line, string my first name equals John. It makes sure, it's basically like int ID equals 31415. It makes sure the console knows that the string, or that the variable my first name will be a string. If I was to make this int, and then make this 31415, what would happen would be builders. Only because this says, I'll get onto that later, because this says string, and these are both integers. Alright, so just put this back to John, and set this as a string. So the third line, string my ID and name equals my first name plus ID. Now, the only reason it says string is because if you know Spanish, when you're talking about a group of people, usually go nosotros, nosotras. Nosotros is for men. Nosotras is feminine. But if they're a group of men and women, it is nosotros. Even though there's a whole different thing for feminine. It's the same with strings and integers. If there is at least one string, you're going to have this whole line be a string. That's why I said if you were to make this an integer, my first name, if you were to make that an integer, then you write integer. You would write int my ID and name equals my first name plus ID. Because they're only integers and there are no strings. So this line sets the variable my ID and name to my first name, which is John, right here, plus ID, which is 31415. So this basically makes my ID and name, the variable, a string called John 31415. So the third line, console.writeLine my ID and name, it writes the line my ID and name, which is what? John 31415, since my ID and name is equal to my first name plus ID. And the last line, it actually reads my ID and name out. My ID and name again is my first name, John, plus ID 31415. And if you'd like to make or to ask any questions, certainly just put it in the comments below. So what you're going to get is John 31415. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's pretty simple, but again, it is going to get more complicated, and it's going to get more codey and stuff, if that's even a word. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys learned some more stuff, and I'll be having more later on, but I'm going to take a break from this, go to bed and stuff, and I'm also going to be doing more. I'm probably going to be doing more Happy Wheels soon, and I'm going to be playing Dead Rising 3. I'll show you guys the look of what games we're going to be playing. So as you know right now, I've pretty bad computer. I'm happy that I have it, but it's not going to be able to support Dead Rising 3, Dying Light, Magica, Payday 2. And I'm going to be playing all of those. I might stop playing EVE Online. I know maybe you guys want to watch more of it, but I mean, it's just too time consuming. I'd like a more fast-paced game. And anyways, if you guys liked the talk that we were having online with my friends, I'll be posting full actual play of Payday 2. And I'm also going to be playing just Payday 2 on the screen, except a separate recording of me having a conversation. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I hope you guys are too. You guys out there, thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.